One start stream, and we are started.
Hey, what's up, kiddos?
Yeah, you go and take away the intro. I feel like shit.
Yeah, poor Jay feels like crap, but the show must go on mainly because we're not going to be on next week because we're going to be knee deep in a turkey, if you know what I'm saying.
Is that what we're calling it now? We're doing turkey.
And then a week after that, Jay will probably have another mouth to feed. So this it might be a little while until there's another tech talk. So Jay, what do you say we just get this thing kicked right off?
All right, rolling that intro.
Roll it. This is the intro to Tech Talk. You're about to go and see some really cool things, and here's what's going on. So buckle up.
We need to get like a real intro.
I know, seriously, right? Oh my god.
It's all right. Going. Okay, I just wanted to make sure the stream was actually going.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I saw the little twirly thing. Ooh, I actually looked pretty good on the stream this week. I mean, not like good, just like...
Well, ever since you stopped giving us the nostril cam.
I know. No, I know. Don't you guys miss nostril cam just a little bit? Be like, hey, how's it going, guys?
Not at all, man.
Today I'm flaring my nostrils. All right, I'll put it back up there. There we go.
Well, guys, we have absolutely zero topics today because I'll be honest, I was like, well, I'm not feeling up to it. And then at the very last minute, I looked at Twitter and everyone was sad. And I was like, fine, I'll do it. So Jerry's running the show today. Go ahead and take it away, Jerry.
All right. Well, yeah, this is harder than it looks, huh? So I was actually looking for topics. Like, well, you put me on the spot there.
Well, there's always Ask Tech Talk. Hashtag Ask Tech Talk.
Well, you know what? Any good host knows that they should just pass the buck off to the other guy. So, Jay, why don't you tell them about your little test bench thing that you're building that you've been uber anal about?
It's actually kind of funny because last night when I was live streaming the build, I actually live streamed most of it, as you guys can see right there. I'm not going to show you any more than that. You guys can wait for the video. I was very particular about the wiring in this thing, and I've already said on that stream as well as on Twitter, this is by far the most challenging wiring build when it comes to the wiring I've ever done, because three sides of the case are exposed. Normally you just cram all the wires behind the motherboard tray, you don't see it, you don't think about it, but on this one here, the top and both sides are exposed. So I have been pulling my hair out, literally getting this all wired up. But now it's just about done. You guys can see if you're watching the stream, I did end up putting the radiator on the side where the hard drive would go because I'm not going to put the hard drive in that side after all. And then I all of a sudden decided, you know what? I don't like the black tubing. So I'm going to take all of the black tubing out. I'm going to take all of the half-inch fittings out, and I'm going to go ahead and go with 3/8 inch clear tubing, so that you can actually see the red premix coolant that's going in there, because after all, it's called Project Bloodshed. So I was like, I might as well at least get to see the fluid. So yeah, anyway.
You're the only person I know that would like go through all that effort to put all that in there and just look at it and be like, fucking color's wrong. Rip it all apart again.
That's
like,
true.
Oh God.
And here's the thing, that tubing cost me $30. I don't have any Primo Chill hookups. So I paid $30 to put that tubing in and changed my mind. So it was like $30 just flushed down the toilet.
Oh my God. I'm crowdsourcing topics right now. But in the meantime, I guess I can talk about what I am doing. My channel's going all over the place, right? Well, it's always been all over the place. Let's be honest. It's never really been on topic, but we're adding a couple things to it. So recently I actually kind of partnered up with a company called Copter Shop, and they do the drone stuff, like the quadcopters and the hexcopters. And
you went to a drone convention thing, didn't you?
I went to a drone convention. It was crazy, man. Like literally, I walked out to a field in Seattle, and at one point, I think there was 10 of these DJI Phantoms and Inspire 1 like just flying around in the air, and it sounded like you were in a hornet's nest. I mean, and it was like in downtown Seattle. It was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy, but I learned a lot about drones that I didn't really know. Like I always thought, so the DJI Phantom, I actually have one. I don't know if you guys can see it back there. They gave me a brand new one. They want me to unbox and review. And that video is coming out on Monday. But they gave me a demo of what these things could do. And I always thought that with the DJI Phantoms and stuff, it was like you have a radio control. You go up, down, side to side. You can rotate it around. It's got a gimbal camera on it, so it's perfectly stable. So you can just thrash the camera around in the wind. And the video looks like you're holding it perfectly still, which I thought was cool. But I didn't realize that they were completely autonomous, too. Like these things actually lock onto satellites, like 7 satellites. And you actually can pull up your cell phone with like a Google Maps overlay and touch 16 waypoints, set altitudes, and say go, and the quadcopter just takes off out of your range. It just disappears. And the fucking thing comes back like 16 minutes later with a whole video of everything it found.
I'm laughing because I'm wondering how many of those during testing went off and never came back.
Well, during the demo, if you guys saw my video, I already did, because I already did the video of the event that I was at. A guy named Dale launched one. He was one of the guys that works for Copter Shop, and he was actually getting nervous because it was about 5 or 10 minutes and it didn't come back. We thought we lost it, but like after a little while, it finally did come back. I think he was worried that the battery was going to die before it made it home, but no, he showed me the video. He took the memory card out of it and put it on like a little Microsoft Surface and was playing the video back. And it was amazing. It's literally an aerial view because he basically set all the waypoints going down streets. So think about in Seattle with the cross streets and the buildings and everything. This thing was literally flying down to an intersection, turning, flying down another intersection, then flying over the stadium. And then it came back. So it's like you got this video that the only way you could get video like this is if you were like had a camera and you were sitting out the side of a helicopter.
I have to wonder, one, what's the altitude of that?
He said that for that demo, he was at 200 feet.
Okay, I was going to say, because I know anything down to like 600 feet, at least where I'm at, is considered airspace.
No, here it's, I think, 400 feet. And they even have a firmware on the device that prevents it from breaking that altitude. So unless you hack it, you can't go higher than, you basically can't get into federal airspace. And another cool thing that DJI did is they put a thing on the firmware that blacks out any airport. So if you're within a certain proximity of any airport, your aircraft won't even fly. It won't even allow it to leave the ground. Turn it on.
It's like hitting an imaginary wall, like boing, boing.
Pretty much.
Boing.
Pretty much. It's just a completely blacked out area. Wow, somebody just posted a picture of me next to Lionel Richie. Apparently, I got a Lionel Richie stash. Oh,
no, people have been comparing you to Ron Jeremy, and I more agree with that one.
I do too.
All you need is the long hair.
Hedgehog right there.
All you need is the long hair, because nothing grows in the center of your lip there.
It doesn't, no matter what. I thought about taking a Sharpie and just filling it in. So guys, in a nutshell, drones are going to become a big part of the channel in combination with 3D printing. We want to actually start 3D printing parts and designing stuff for these quadcopters to do cool stuff like open people's blinds and, hover over their chimneys and things like that. No, just kidding. But
that would be fun, but where I live, it's so windy.
Yeah, the funny thing is, though, is they have a new drone. The whole idea of this event was unveiling a new drone because these Phantoms have been around for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. They've revised them with bigger motors and stuff, but still the same basic design. Well, now they have a new one called the Inspire 1, and you pick the thing up, and it is heavy. Like, legitimately, you wouldn't think the thing could fly. It is so heavy with the battery on board. But it's got so much torque with the motors. They said it can fly in 15-knot winds. Wow. Like, it can stay perfectly stable in 15-knot winds and take a video.
I love the idea of these drones and things. I just hate the fact that the public is so like anti-drone.
Yeah, I'm hoping to break that with my video series, but something tells me I'll end up fueling it. You know how I am.
Yeah, but you're gonna get a lot of hate on that too. But everyone's afraid of drones because of the Predator. But guys, that's like the size of a freaking real aircraft.
And everybody gets, when I posted this video, some people were complaining about safety issues down and things, saying, "Oh, these are not toys. These are not toys." The Phantom has plastic blades and there's shrouds around.
Yeah,
and it has a shroud. You can take it off if you want to be a jerk, but
it's just like a foam shroud, isn't it?
No. That's on the AR on my old Parrot AR drone. Those are the crappy little ones. You couldn't hurt anybody.
No, those are crappy. They're like only $400. They're crap.
I'm not saying you couldn't hurt somebody with them. I mean, if you flew into somebody, at 20 miles an hour with one of these drones, you'd do some damage. But
I have a story about that.
Unless you're flying a big, 8-blade copter that's carrying DSLR gear and shit that has carbon fiber blades, you're not going to saw people's fingers off. You're going to bruise them and cut them, but you're not going to saw them off. So.
I have a picture of blood just running down my leg. It's covered up my foot. My foot is solid red with blood. My shoe is dripping blood because my friend and I were like, "Hey, let's go over to Hobbytown and let's just pick up some RC planes." Now you can probably tell where this is going already.
Are these the gas-powered ones too?
No, thank God. No, these are electric ones, but they have brushless motors and crap, right?
Okay.
And these are the ones that could legitimately go really fast. They're like P-51s. Now my buddy, I was pretty decent at flying it. I actually wasn't too bad because I had flown RC planes in the past. He had never flown an RC plane before. So we both got our planes up in the sky. He had already crashed his a couple of times, so the nose cone was busted off. Now what's behind the nose cone is a freaking propeller shaft that sticks out about an inch past the propeller, which is normally covered by the plastic nose cone. I don't know how or why or somehow he ended up flying the plane right back at us. And I'm in the middle of flying my plane, and all of a sudden I hear, "Look out!" I'm really fat, right? Like back then I was super fat. I was like, I think I was about 450 at the time then. And
480.
I was like 450. So I tried to run out of the way, which in turn just turned into me falling over, really, right? I mean, when you're that big and you try and take a couple of quick steps, it usually ends up with you on the ground and horizontal position. Right as this plane just kind of comes at full speed and whack right into my shin. The propeller blade, the shaft, which is about an inch long, embedded itself into my leg, and then the blade stopped, or the propeller stopped because the blade cut into my leg. So I got a puncture wound and a slash on my leg. I brought my plane down to safety and landed it, but I still have a hole in my leg. Like if you use a red circle, if you were to touch it and push on it, it's completely hollow in there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dude.
So that was my buddy's first and last time flying an RC plane.
So I guess your story kind of confirms that that these aren't toys.
Well, the airplane, see, the drones are just kind of hovering and flying around. The airplane is able to fly because it maintains forward momentum. So it was more like a missile.
That's true. That's true. The planes, the drones do move pretty quick, though. I was pretty surprised at the velocity these things can do, especially the Inspire. The new one that they have now. Granted, it's not. I would say it's not a toy because the thing's like starting $3,000 basically.
Yeah.
But it had a vertical ascent speed of 25 miles an hour. They literally just punch it, and you just feel the massive burst of air. It's like a helicopter taking off.
Yeah. But
It's
see,
like
if those crash into you, it's like more or less a blunt object hitting you, not a pointed object for the sake of aerodynamics.
That's true.
So I don't see
That's
this being quite as dangerous as
yeah. I don't feel threatened at all by the Phantoms. Like I've flown them, I've seen them smack into stuff, and I'd imagine it wouldn't be. Optic burn over in chat just said Jay used to be fat? Question mark.
Yeah, it used to be 500 pounds, guys.
Jay was beefcake. Like I would have motorboated that. I wish I knew him back in those days, though. That would have been. Like,
I think I have a picture. I may see if I can find one. If I have a picture, I'll put it up.
Oh, dude, I've seen the.
It's
picture
funny
back
because
when you were heavy D. I would have been all over that.
It's funny because people are always like, oh, Jay, you're fat. You're fat. It's like, yeah, I'm still pretty fat by today's standards. But man, you compare where I came from, I'll take this body any day.
Dude, you're like Ethiopian compared to where you used to be. So
I was like,
on the other hand, I've been steadily not steadily gaining weight. I capped out at about 293. That's where I've been sitting for the last 2-3 months.
I was like one of those ancient African tribe chiefs that are like super fat. Because if you were fat, it meant you were wealthy back then.
Yeah.
Something like
wait,
that.
That doesn't apply anymore?
No, because you could still be fat and poor today.
Oh,
I guess
man.
something like that. I don't know.
Because that used to be my argument. Everybody would be like, "You're fat," and it's like, well, yeah, kings and royalty were fat too. You know why? Because we got other people to do our shit. We got the skinny people to do it.
I gotta keep looking for these pictures. Now everyone's like, "No way, I don't believe it." Oh yeah, here's
you're
one.
Looking for those.
This is a great one. It's actually when I was holding my daughter, Miss Little J, when she was born, when we lived in this cheap ass little condo.
Oh, I've seen that picture.
In fact, there's not even any cabinet doors on the cabinets because my wife and I were too poor to afford it. So that's why
I got Volaire on Twitter messaging me. He's like, "That's why you have prop cards!" Exclamation! Just so you guys know, Volaire is the aerial photography company that's local to me that I'm actually partnering with to shoot a lot of these drone series that I'm going to be doing for my YouTube channel. Because they're basically like experts and like know the ins and outs and exactly what to do, and that way I won't just like go say, "Hey, drone, fly to Seattle and come back," and it dies halfway there and falls in the river.
So I just put the picture up a little bit there. Yeah, it's funny when people are always like, you don't know what it's like to be fat. It's like, I'm fat now, and yes, I do. You don't know what it's like to be poor. I was like, look, I don't even have cabinet doors. So I know exactly what that is like. Trust me.
The thing people need to realize is you can actually be a poor YouTuber with a nice tech man cave.
Well, this was long before YouTube.
Companies don't give us like refrigerators and ovens and like couches and stuff or nice houses. They just give us electronics. So it's like we could live in a shed. Whoa, I just saw the picture come up. Beefcake! Beefcake!
That's a huge bitch.
That's a huge bitch.
No, yeah, this was long before YouTube. Yeah, I was about 494 right there at my biggest. My daughter was, I don't know, a week old right there.
See, guys, YouTube makes you skinny. Confirmed.
I guess. So that's why every time people make fat comments in my videos, they don't even get close to phasing me because I'm like, look, guys, I've had perfect strangers point to me and tell their kids that's why you eat your vegetables.
Jay, you are so huge, you're actually covering me up right now.
Yeah, you can't tell where you can't. You know what's funny is that's a love seat, but it looks more like a recliner with me in it. Oh. It's actually a 2-person seat, but I filled it out,
dude,
man.
That is a freaking amazing transformation.
You know what size shirt and pant I'm wearing right there?
7XL?
No, it's a 5XL shirt, but a 62 waist pant.
Jeez.
I still have those pants. I still have those pants. So
You know what you need to do? You need to do a video where you shoot the whole video with those pants and like fold them over and run a belt through the extra loop, so it's just that huge saggy skater pants look.
Dan Halen says Boogie 2 cents.
Boogie 2 cents.
Boogie's a good friend of mine.
Reminds me of the cross picture that they did between me and Boogie. You remember that one, right?
Oh, that was scary because you guys like lined up perfectly.
So creepy because it looked real.
It did look like a real photo.
Didn't look like a Photoshop at all. Oh my god.
Jay looks like Russell from Up, except he's white.
Oh my god.
Are you in need of assistance today?
Oh my god.
Sammy just came in and said, "I'm confused."
So do you think the crackpots? Okay, so we got drones out of the way. You think they want to hear about the other crackpot thing I'm getting into?
Oh, real quick, guys, you lose the weight by doing speed. That's it. No,
Speed
I'm just kidding. Don't do speed. Speed is bad.
What about Adderall? Does Adderall make you Adderall? But this is what pisses me off. I take Adderall, guys, because I've got ADHD. I only take it a couple days a week when I'm chasing squirrels out in the front yard in my underwear. But the thing about Adderall is my doctor tells me, he's like, when he gives me, he's like, hey, be careful with this stuff because it can cause rapid weight loss. And I gained 25 pounds. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, no, this will boost your metabolism. Yeah. And you're going to burn more calories and everything. He's like, you're going to feel hot and everything. It's like, I take the medicine and I'm like, I'm hyper focused. It does what it says it does. I'm calm. I'm collected and I gain weight.
So I'm going to go ahead and show this picture side by side since now the subject of weight loss has come up. Let's see. So that was my daughter was 1 week old. This picture here, my daughter was 1.5 years old. So you can see there was quite the transformation. But, yep. Anyway.
What was your secret?
What was my secret? Yeah, I'm not embarrassed to say it. I'm not embarrassed to say I had weight loss surgery. I was going to die if I didn't.
I don't think I'm quite to the point where I need that, but I've thought about it. I've really thought about it because I'm getting kind of older now, and I just want to sit on my porch and yell at kids to get off my yard, and I wouldn't mind losing a honey.
No, I didn't have a lap band either. People were always like, "Get the lap band." The lap band, it's just they put like a rubber band around your stomach, and then it has an injector thingy in the side of you, so you have like a port in your stomach.
I would go nuts. I don't know how people do that stuff where they have like a port.
If you guys if anyone is interested about like why I made that decision, I'm not going to talk about it here. I have a vlog channel. I haven't uploaded to it in a long time, but I tell my whole story about my weight loss, what I went through, what it was like having surgery, why I did it. But one of the turning points was I was in a major car accident that nearly killed me, and it took 8 firefighters to lift me and put me in the gurney. And on the way to the hospital, they couldn't even get an IV in me because the gurney wouldn't stay hooked down. So it took 3 firefighters inside the back of the ambulance just to hold me still without rolling around back there. So they couldn't even work on me until I got to the ER. Then I didn't fit in any MRI machines. I didn't fit in any CAT scan machines. And that's actually why I have back and neck problems today, was from that accident. So I was like, you know what?
That was your breaking point right there where you're just like, oh God, I'm
done. That was my breaking point. But I mean, look, I've got my daughter and now my second daughter. I wanted to live for them. I wanted to see them graduate high school. So it was worth it to me to have a surgical intervention to live now a really high quality of life rather than that. I couldn't.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think anybody should ever like feel self-conscious or afraid of doing something like that. I mean, if that's what it takes to get you where you need to be, hell, do it.
So I'm sure somebody in this chat knows exactly what I was going through when you have to choose your restaurants based on the places you fit in the seats. Because when you're that big, you don't go to places like Olive Garden because the seats have armrests and you don't fit in those. You don't go to places that have only booths. You don't go to movie theaters that don't have flip-up armrests because you don't fit in those things. You don't fly in an airplane because you have to buy 2 seats. It's just quality of life sucks. So it was a pretty easy decision to do that. Not to mention insurance covered all but $400 of it. So I was like, well, I want to live for my little girl, so I did it. But if you guys want to learn more about that, there's actually a channel called JayzSays, JayzSays. I have not uploaded to that channel in over a year, guys. I really, really want to start again, and so does Miss J. Miss J and I used to do some videos up there together. So it's not a Z on the end, guys. JAYS.
Oh, JAYS.
It's JAYZSYS. SAYS. JayzSays. So, yeah, there's actually like 4,000 subscribers over there, and they give me a hard time all the time saying, when are you going to come back to this channel? It's like, well, I'm burning the candle at both ends right now, guys. It's just a matter of time management.
No, you got to pick your priorities, man.
I used to make the time. I used to do car vlogs where I would just have my phone on a camera mount or a phone mount on the dash, and I would talk to the camera for my drive to work, and people loved it because I was just talking about things I liked to talk about, and people loved the car vlogs. I haven't been doing that because my car mount broke and I haven't bought another one. So I'm highly considering buying another one and just starting it again. Take the 20-minute drive to work, chat about something, and start uploading it again. So if you guys want me to start doing that, I don't know, push 1 in the chat. Let me see if you guys are even interested anymore. But yeah. I tell my whole story over there on that channel, both about the bullying, about the weight loss, about, what it was like, growing up both rich and poor, all that stuff. So
is that where your Draw My Life video is?
My Draw My Life video is on both channels.
It's on both channels. Yeah,
I uploaded it to
that's a really good one.
I uploaded it to the vlog channel, but then people were like, "This really should go up on your main channel." So I did it because it's.
If you guys haven't seen that, like, definitely go watch that. It's actually one of the better Draw My Lives I've seen. I'm not just saying that because I like Jay.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I do like him a little bit,
and I didn't do it because it was like the thing everyone was doing, but the vlog channel made me realize there were lots of people that were interested in the personal side of me, not just the tech side. So I went ahead and did it. Why
is everybody hitting 1? Did we ask a 1 question?
I told them hit 1 if they want me to start uploading vlogs from the car again.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, you're getting your chat's like exploding, so you better do it.
I just need to go buy another camera mount. I mean, it's going to be low quality stuff, guys. No editing. It's just me talking to the camera, usually being stupid. And yeah.
All right. Everybody type 69 if you want me to do a daily vlog from the toilet.
Right as I was drinking. Thanks a lot, man. I almost literally spit that out on the monitor.
Wouldn't that be funny? You know my little Instagram bits I do sitting on the toilet? What if I did an entire vlog every day? It's like toilet talk, and I just sit there and it's like, guys, it's...
No, don't call it toilet talk. Call it poop nap, and then number them. Poop nap 1, poop nap 2. That would be awesome.
Poop nap 1, poop nap 2. Started like poop nap 4,000, just so it's like more realistic and in line with, how many poops I've actually produced. Actually, I've produced far more than 4,000. I'm going to have to sit down and work that out. I poop like once or twice a day, so that's a lot of poops, guys. A lot of poops.
No, I wondered, like, do people really use that hashtag poop nap? And you're like 90% of the poop nap hashtags.
I know, but there are other people out there that have used it.
I know.
So it is not my own term. I stole that from somebody.
Well, look,
I'm bringing it back.
People really, you need to start a whole channel called Poop Nap.
I should. Just today on Poop Nap.
Look at the chat.
What they do to you. Today on Poop Nap, we're talking about X-Lax versus prune juice. Oh my God, that'd be hilarious.
Today on Poop Nap, the struggle, constipation. This one's gonna take a while, guys.
Oh my God. So yeah, the most requested thing I'm getting right now, I'm actually getting flooded with requests for another Codegasm. Like, I thought Codegasm was an okay series, but I didn't think it was that popular. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do other things. Oh my God, I've never had a more passionate group of people hitting me up on email, Facebook, every possible comment on every video. When's the next Codegasm? So the answer is, if you guys are in here, the next Codegasm, hopefully later next week. I didn't abandon Codegasm. It's just a lot of stuff happened and a lot of stuff started piling up, and I just got to get through it.
You got to understand too, not you, but the audience needs to understand when you're a very seasoned developer like Jerry working at an elite level. It's not easy to turn on the camera and dumb it down to beginners. Your mindset's not there. So it takes a lot of work for him to, one, plan these videos and not overcomplicate them.
Yeah, because the way I usually program, like when I'm sitting down and doing a project, is it's like I already have it worked out in my head how the class structures are going to be and how everything's going to be sorted. And then I create a template, which that template, just to create that, could be an entire day's work.
Yeah.
And so I go from that to, I'm going to program something in 30 minutes ad hoc. And but it's fun. It is. I'll admit it is fun. It's not a stressful series to create. You can tell when you're watching. I'm having fun. I leave all my mistakes in and everything too, because I think it's really funny. And it gives people a chance to come back and be like, oh, you could have done this different. You could have done this. A lot of the stuff people come back and tell me in the series, I'm like, well, yeah, no, I know it now. I know in hindsight I could have done it that way, but in the natural workflow, I would have just discovered it and kept going.
Coding is another art form in itself. There's elegant code and there's spaghetti code, and there's
a time and place for both.
Yes. Yes. What I love, though, is when our developers start to talk about, like, well, this particular piece of code is elegant for such and such. And it's like, well, no, you could have done this. And people start arguing about it, right? There's code fanboys, too. Well, I'm a fan of this syntax, or I'm a fan of blah, blah, blah. Yep. And they'll argue about it. But as long as the result in the end is the same.
Yep. Well, then, all Microsoft's code that's checked in actually goes through a code review process, and it does have to follow certain syntaxes, and we do have to use camel casing and things like that. Variable naming conventions and everything have to be observed. But when I'm writing test code or unit test code, where it's not production code, it's not going in, it's proof of concept code, I rarely follow those conventions.
Right.
Because I find it a lot easier for me to just throw stuff out as quickly as possible.
Right.
And that's where the spaghetti code comes from. But there are times where the spaghetti code becomes the production code because you're like, holy shit, the prototype works so well. There's no need to go back and redesign the whole thing. And that's happened more than a couple times.
Hey, Jerry, Joe Stacks is asking, what is the status on the brackets for your sim?
Okay, actually, I need to touch on this. I finally found a number to the guy. Actually, let me give you guys the backstory.
Because he just disappeared, right?
He disappeared. So, anyways, you guys know I did that video. I sent these STL files to a guy who had a machine shop. He actually, and it's a business. It wasn't just like some dude in his garage. He actually has a business machining things. And he machined the brackets. He even sent me pictures. Like I have pictures of my brackets milled in aluminum, and I'll actually post those pictures after Tech Talk.
And they're now all for sale on eBay with a store.
And they're now all no. So what happened was I didn't hear from the guy. He said he was going to ship them out the next day. I didn't see him in a week, so I messaged him back and I said, "Hey, did you ever get around to shipping those things out?" Nothing. A week later, mailed him again. 2 weeks later, mailed him again. Over a month later, I mail him again. No response. 12 mails now I've sent to the guy over 2.5 months, and I haven't heard anything. So a week or two ago, I tried going to his website. It was down. I tried calling his business's phone number. It was offline. So I was like, oh, crap. Well, today I found an alternate number that he had in there. And so he picked up or his voicemail picked up. But you could tell from the dates that he had on his voicemail, he's like, I will not be around on July 15th and July, blah, blah. It was back then, right? Yeah. So they're really old. So I don't know if anybody's checking his messages, but he went in for a gallbladder surgery. And last mail I got from was when he was back home from the gallbladder surgery. And he's like, yeah, I'm back home and recovering. I'll get these things mailed out tomorrow. And I didn't hear back from him. So I fear that something really horrible happened to this guy. And so I left him a lengthy voicemail message saying, hey, I don't care about the brackets. Please just call me. Here's my phone number. Here's my email. Even if somebody else checks this message, please just let me know what's going on. So hopefully somebody's checking his voicemail and he gets back to me and lets me know what's going on, because I'm genuinely worried about the guy. I could give two shits about the brackets. Wow. But as far as where the brackets are at right now, I just recently contacted another machinist and I sent him all the plans to it.
Have you tried them in plastic yet, just to see if they work in plastic and and you can feel the rumble?
Yep. No, I haven't tried them with the transducers attached to them. With the transducers running. I did bolt the transducers.
Because I mean, I understand that they will absorb, but I would have to wonder, in the meantime, you could at least like put your proof of concept to test and try it.
It should technically work in plastic. The only thing I'm worried about is they're 250 watt transducers. So I mean, they can generate so much vibration. Well, not just heat, but I think that they would literally just snap the damn things off, unless I printed it in ABS. If I printed it in ABS, it would just flap around.
Right.
So I could technically do it, but the whole thing is I had a guy ready, like we test fitted him. He was ready to do this. And this was going to be like a 2-week turnaround.
Gerson Hernandez is asking if he took any money. I don't think this was a voluntary thing, wasn't it?
No. This guy did this completely for free. Everything. He was just going to charge me the cost of materials on delivery, and it was like he was literally charging me scrap value on the materials. It was going to cost like literally for all the brackets like $40.
Yeah.
And so he didn't take any money up front. He did all this work, and he literally did the work. Like he sent me pictures of the thing, and they're beautiful. And it's sad because they're in a box somewhere taped up probably in his office. And if something happened to him, I mean, they're going to end up in an estate sale, and somebody's going to be like, what the hell is this? I mean, they'll never see their true potential. But since I haven't heard back from him, I went ahead and said, okay, it's been 2 months. Obviously, I'm not going to hear back from him. And if I do, it's not going to be a good story. So I contacted another machinist yesterday, and they already have shown interest. I sent them all the information, and they're trying to get a quote together for how much it'll cost to create them. But again, they're not going to charge me full cost, because it's going to cost like, if I wanted to create that set with a local machine shop, it'd be like $1,500, $2,000.
Yeah, it would be a lot.
They got to tool up the machines and everything and go through and there's a lot of hand milling to actually make these billet, unless you have like $1 million CNC, in which case they're still going to charge you that much just to recoup their money.
Right.
So,
well, yeah, I mean, the wife used to work for a fabrication shop. It's not cheap to get that stuff tooled up.
It's really, really expensive. And especially like if you have a billet part, you have to start with a solid block of metal. So you're paying for that solid block of metal, even with all the crap coming off of it,
Yeah.
So it is expensive. But the good news is it looks like the other party is interested, and hopefully they'll be able to produce me a set to test. And once the set is fully tested, if this person goes for it, they might actually be mass produced and sold. I won't be mass producing and selling them, but
is this person a fan of the channel or someone you contacted?
They're a fan of the channel and somebody that I've actually worked with before. So, yeah. But they actually have. I mean, and I can't use the name because they haven't agreed to do it yet. But
right.
Once they agree to do it, I'll put it out there. But in a nutshell, they would be able to mass produce it if they wanted to, and then everybody could just buy them, which would be cool. So that's what's happening with that. But the other thing now I want to talk about is the other crazy thing I'm getting into with the channel now is cryptocurrency. So, which a lot of people still show a huge interest for, even though kind of Bitcoin and Litecoin
Little
and
late to
Dogecoin.
the party, bro.
Jay, when have I ever not been late to the party on anything that I've
You just wait for everyone to kind of do their thing. That way you can kind of come in and be like, the arena is all mine.
Yeah, I'm kind of catching it on its second window. This is how this all started. Let me give you guys the story. So, anyways, I print out. You guys remember this, right? I did the video where I print out these little Bitcoins. And by the way, another video coming tomorrow. I got a new polisher and new polisher media I'm going to try with these. So I'm going to shoot a second video. Hopefully that one's not a bust too. Otherwise, I'm going to have a whole video series of like how to not polish stuff. So anyways, I create this Bitcoin and I get contacted by this guy. His name's Marshall from finalhash.com. Go check it out, finalhash.com. He contacts me and he's like, oh, I see you're into cryptocurrency because I printed that coin. And I was like, nah, to be honest, I just printed a Bitcoin because I thought it'd be cool. And so he's like, well, are you interested in cryptocurrency? I was like, yeah, actually I am. I used to do it, but you can't make any money at it because of the computers. I had my computer with dual, GTX 680 for the Win editions, which sounded impressive about 2 years ago when I was Bitcoin mining. But anyways, the two 260s I had, even at full mining potential, like burning my GPUs up, couldn't even move the mouse cursor on the screen. It was maybe mining like 10 or 15 cents a day. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And I guess the ATI cards were doing a lot better, but still, like it took a computer with like 6 of these cards in it to actually make any money. Well, now, apparently the new way to mine in Bitcoin is to use something called ASICs, which are these CPUs that are purpose-built just for doing one thing. Like I have one sitting here. This is called a Zeus.
Yeah, because the CPU doesn't do hardly anything. In fact, a lot of people underclock it and undervolt it to keep temps down.
Yep. And the other thing about CPUs is CPUs, each time they have to cycle several times to complete an operation. The cool thing about these ASICs is they only have one instruction. It's to do one hash algorithm. It's not even multiple. It's one single instruction. Processes hash, processes hash. So these little units like this can produce results like this little guy right here, this little Zeus guy. He consumes, I forget how much power he said it consumed. I think it's only like 30 watts or less of power. And this little guy, just with that many watts of power, is producing a faster hashing rate than one of those systems that has 6 of these GPUs in it. So now the whole thing with Bitcoin mining is they're going into these ASICs-based systems, which can mine a lot more efficiently, a lot less power, and now it can be profitable again, especially with like Bitcoin and Litecoin, which were pretty much played out from GPU mining perspectives. So now I'm going to take a deep dive into that, and I'm going to try out all this hardware, and I'm going to verify that it works. I'm going to verify that it actually does produce a significant amount of income versus the price and the efficiency and all that stuff. But you guys are going to see a video series coming out where I talk about Bitcoin and Litecoin mining and the hardware in these ASIC systems, because these tiny little systems, I mean, you can just buy a bunch of these and just set them up and plug them in and let them mine away.
It almost reminds me of like a Raspberry Pi on crack.
Exactly. Oh, and here's there's the Raspberry right there that controls them because they're USB.
Right.
So basically, you plug this is basically just the CPU processor, the ASIC, and then this plugs in to a hub and then plugs into this, and this is the controller that coordinates them all. And you basically have like a little mini mining farm. And they've got other ones too. Like they've got this one right here. It's called a grid seed. I'm going to be reviewing this, but this does Bitcoin and Litecoin. And so you hook up all these nodes. The processors hook up via USB to the controller, and then these nodes just all process. It's super efficient. You're not cranking out tons of power. You're not cranking out a massive amount of heat. But if you want to get super serious, he was showing me one unit that they have that they do enterprise level servers too. So we're talking the guys that sound like Hoover vacuum cleaners. And they've got one that consumes like 4,000 watts of power, but it hashes at a rate that's like, I mean, it was like insane. He was showing me like a little chart, and it's like the amount of computers you'd have to build with GPUs to replicate what this one box in the rack does with 4,000 watts of power would be like an entire lab of these other computers.
Yeah.
Just because the ASIC. So it's kind of a new idea, new spin on an old thing, right?
Yeah. So you can make how much a day?
With these guys, well, he was showing me some of the calculations, and I can't remember. I think it was with like 4 of these grid seed guys and a couple of these Zeus guys or whatever. You could make upwards of $15 to $20 a day mining at current market.
A day or a month?
A day.
Oh, wow.
So I'll put it to the test. I mean, each one of these units, I mean, like this guy, even if this guy could mine, $1 a day, even if you could get $1 a day out of this guy, it'd be worth it.
Yeah.
So, at the price point and everything. So that's what I was curious about, because I never really got into the mining other than a couple of weeks just farting around with it, because your computer's completely tied up. It's killing the thing at 100% everything.
Right.
and you're not, and it's, pumping out massive heat. And I wasn't making any money at all. And this way, it's like now these low cost systems, they make more money than they burn, at least at current value. The thing you got to realize with cryptocurrencies, just like stocks, they go up and down, and you could lose your ass on them. So I would never recommend these for like
Not to mention
of making money.
Not to mention, if you're running a 4,000 watt machine 24 hours a day, you might be breaking even on the power bill, depending on where you live.
Well, it depends though. But those enterprise level systems, those ones pull in like, I mean, you could probably pull in $100 a day with one of those machines.
Yeah.
Because it's got the hash rate on it's insane. I mean, it's got like over 100 ASICs processors inside of it. So it's neat. I'm still diving into it. I still don't understand everything there is about it, but I'm learning. Luckily, I've got a good teacher who's like helping. I mean, dude can answer any question I have, and so I'm gonna dive headfirst into it. And you guys are gonna come along for the ride. And if I see some returns, I'll let you guys know. If I don't see any returns and it's just a fun hobby, I'll let you know. But it's kind of a curious thing. And plus, the thing is, Bitcoin. And even Litecoin in some places is being accepted by stores for goods. You can actually buy things with these. You can buy services. You can buy subscriptions and stuff like that. You can also sell the coins for real money on their like little exchange market. And all of this can be done through like banks that It's not like all this. I always thought that the cryptocurrency thing was completely underground. It's like, no, Wells Fargo like handles transactions and stuff.
Well, yeah, big banking wants to get their hands in the cookie jar.
Exactly. So it's not, when I first started Bitcoin mining, I was like, oh, okay, this is, this like kind of weird, nefarious thing. And it's
big banks can destroy that market too if they get too involved.
No, that's true. That's true. But the way I see it is the more I look into it, the more that I realize that it is a legitimate currency, and the mining of this currency and the verification of transactions is a profitable thing if done right. But I mean, the days of you becoming a millionaire off Bitcoins are probably gone. I mean, for now, but who's to say that you can't make, $20 a month farting around with these guys, with these ASICs guys? And if a new currency comes out, you're not throwing away a $6,000 system.
Everyone's saying I fell asleep. No, guys, I'm just listening to Jerry's review because apparently he doesn't want to do a video. He's doing a live stream of it.
Oh yeah, I should probably like shut up.
Don't give away all the video.
Hey, I didn't take one of the grid seeds out of the box, but I guess they can go look it up. No, that's it. I want to give everybody a little treat since they're sitting here, and I know a lot of people are interested in cryptocurrency. Like my wife, she didn't know what it was. I told my wife I was going to start mining Bitcoins, and she thought I was actually going to like go into the backyard or out somewhere with like a pickaxe and start digging stuff out of the ground.
Honey, I'm going to start fracking in the backyard.
Yep, and then I know, what's that tube going into the ground? No, but she was really. I couldn't explain it to her very well. Like I kept explaining, she's like, "But where does the money come from?" I was like, "Well, it's like it's like magic money. It's like it's like projected value of something on the internet that people are willing to exchange real money for back and forth." She's like, "I don't get it." And the funny thing is, every time she looks at me and she says she doesn't get it, I'm like, "Well, I don't really get it either." But that's why I want to get into it and do the video series, because I want to get to the bottom of the cryptocurrency, how it works, how it started. I want to do the whole thing. Yeah. And I also want to get my own little set of hardware running up here in the Nerd Cave. So in the videos, I can be like, today, this is how much money I made over this course of time, factor in the electricity, here's the profit margin at current market value, and then kind of illustrate how if the market value goes down below a certain threshold, then I won't be making any money, but I still be finding currency. So if it came back up, that currency would be worth more. I mean, it's a really multifaceted thing. And it's very interesting. And I didn't even realize any of this crazy hardware shit like existed just for mining.
Anthony O'Neill's asking if I have a 4K monitor yet for benchmarks. No, guys, I don't. But Jerry actually has a 4K monitor review coming up. Unfortunately, Jerry doesn't have the army of GPUs to test against the monitor.
I will be powering. Trust me, I'm disconnecting everything else though. That 4K monitor is going to be the only thing running when I'm doing all the testing.
I'm working on it though, guys. I know I'm getting a 1440p monitor here next month. I'm working on a 4K monitor because the test bench right here, this R9290 cryovenom in here, it deserves a 1440p or higher review. Unfortunately, I don't have the panel, and I have the money, but I don't have the allocation to go and spend it on a 4K panel that's going to sit over there and get turned on only when a new card comes in this room. It's not really worth it to me. So I'm working on it though.
Yeah, I think my 4K panel, I'd love to put it up. I'd love for the 4K panel to be the guy up here on the ceiling. But the problem that I have with it is I think having 1080p 46-inch below and then having a giant 4K up above is really going to throw me off.
Does that 4K have a VESA mount?
You know what? I didn't check. I just
Let me
kind of assumed. I guess that was a dumb assumption, huh?
Not all of them do. Like Asus, a lot of their motherboards, a lot of their monitors do not have VESA mount, which
Well,
made
we'll
my
find out. Oh shit, this is heavy.
choosing very difficult.
Okay, it says. Can you guys still hear me?
Somewhat, you know, if you just hold up the box a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher.
I'll just do this. There we go.
No, what I mean is I want to
There
see
you go,
the I want to see the mount system on it.
Oh,
I can't see the picture. It might.
let's see. I'm seeing if it says anything on the back here. It says, here's the specs on it. Okay, so if you guys wanted to know, okay,
Yeah,
28 inch.
It's a monoprice
LED
monitor,
TN
guys.
panel.
First
Oh,
of
it's
all,
a TN panel. It's not a.
it's a 4K TN.
Yeah, TN's the not IPS.
Yeah, that's gonna make it, you know, cheaper. Obviously, an IPS 4K panel would be like buku dollars.
That's true, but IPS would have been awesome. It's got a 1001 contrast ratio, 3000 CD brightness, 170 angle or 170 degree horizontal and vertical view angle, response time of 5 ms, which actually is pretty damn good for a 4K.
I want to clarify something. SGM26 is like, you could buy VESA mounts for Asus monitors. Not all Asus monitors have a VESA mount system on the back of the panel. Some of them are designed to use their mounts only. Anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything on here about VESA mount though, so I'll find out when I crack it open. But if it doesn't have a VESA mount,
Usually
I'll just do
it's-
what it originally intended, and I was going to put it on my editing box over here.
I've not seen too many monitors that have VESA mount not advertise it because it's a selling point.
I know, so that's why I think it might not have it, because if it did, you'd think that would be listed on the box, because it was for this guy up here, the 1440p guy that I have.
Yeah.
We'll find out. If not, I'm just going to put a whole bunch of duct tape on it.
Perfect. Another jerry-rigged episode coming up.
Yeah, but what I really want to do is, this is my game plan anyways. I need to talk to Puget Systems. They've actually been talking to me. I got to get back to them with what kind of system I want to build. They're curious to see, like, you know, hey, what kind of computer do you want to build? So
you know what they should
talk to Jay first.
I assume if that project goes forward, it should be an on-site video of you guys taking a tour through the process. That's what you guys should do.
Yes, that's exactly what I want to do. But the problem is right now is they are massively overrun for the holidays, for Black Friday and Christmas ramp up.
Well, that's good.
Like they're at 100% capacity. So it's like, I don't want to go in there when everybody's like stressing and throwing stuff around. So I may actually even delay the build of the computer just for a little while, just so I can actually be there through the whole process.
Frothy Saucy says I look pissed. Guys, I'm sick. Deal with it.
That's what Jay looks like, guys. That's his happy face. Trust me. I know him. But anyways, I might delay them building it just so that I can go through that whole process, because they could easily just crank it out and send it to me, as a part of their process. But for me to be there, it's going to be a little disruptive. So we'll work out all the details to figure it out. But I need to figure out what I want to build. But I definitely want to go something that's massively GPU heavy, because again, I want to build a computer that'll last me another year or two.
I now demand a jerry-rigged video of how to VESA mount a monitor without VESA mount. You need to like drill the monitor and everything.
You know what I should do? Hot glue it.
There you go.
just squirt a whole stick of hot glue on the ceiling and just press the damn thing into it and be done with it.
Everyone's asking if I'm stoned. No, I'm not. I don't do the marijuanas because my brain power is I don't know. See, I can't think of anything.
Dude, I tried the marijuanas. I didn't like it.
I have diabolas.
I didn't like it. The marijuanas is not for me.
I can't stand the smell of it.
It's legal in Washington now, folks. It's completely legal here. But
I cannot stand the smell of cigars, cigarettes, hookah, marijuana. The smell of anything burning makes me feel sick instantly.
Yeah, well, I won't smoke anything. I ate it. It was like in a candy bar or something, but it was it was a little bit of a different thing. I didn't like it. It just did not agree with me.
It's like a Snickers bar, but for tokers.
Pretty much. It was like, yeah, it was like, and I mean, it was funny because it's like, now that everything's legal here, it's like it's a professionally like wrapped chocolate bar and everything. I mean, it looked like Hershey's made it.
Okay.
And I ate more than I probably should have first time out, and yeah, it was a little bit of an experience.
Jay, do I like Intel Broadwell CPUs? Sure. They're not out yet. Yeah, I like CPUs. Yes.
I had
Jay,
a question for you, Jay. Though,
Jay, hold on. Will the test bench make a good build for us mortals? Yeah, this build has been very tough, so I wouldn't recommend it for any first-time builders. All right, what's your question, Jerry?
Oh, I was going to ask you about, as far as a build for my main machine, do you think that I should go for like a Xeon platform, or should I just stick with straight up i7?
Well, with the Xeon, you'll gain a ton more cores. you're not going to really be overclocking it much, except for a little bit on the B clock if you go Haswell E version of Xeon. You hardly play games anymore, so it would make sense for you.
Well, no, you dipshit. Look at you taking a little stab at me.
No, you don't.
No,
Let's
I
be honest.
want to play games.
No.
I want to.
You've been saying you want to since you lost your job. It
My
has
computer
hardly
barely
happened.
works right now, dude. It's like 2 years old and it's like pumping sludge through the fucking thing. Every time I start a game, it crashes. Come on. If I had a computer capable of just double clicking something and playing without me having to fuck with it for 5 hours, I would game all the time.
I bet you if you turned down your overclocks, you wouldn't have that problem anymore.
But I can't because it's like it's worked that long. It's worked so perfectly for so long that now that the CPU is all worn out and everything, I just can't accept it. Like I turn it down and I start getting the shakes. Can't do it.
Yeah. See, then it's a self-induced problem. Is what it is.
It's a self-induced problem. I don't. Can you just like can you fly up here, downclock it, and lock my BIOS out, and then
I'll put a password on your BIOS.
just put a password on it, dude? I can't do it. You know what I'm talking about though? Like when you see something that works so perfectly for so long, it's just like your car. If you go out in your car and it's got a turbo and you're running 12 pounds of boost and it starts blowing blue smoke, you don't turn the damn turbo down. You just drive it as hard as you can until it explodes and put a new motor in it.
Okay, let's everybody wait for the nervous breakdown Jerry has when he goes to turn on his computer one day and nothing happens.
It happens like every week, and I gotta unplug everything and push the power button a whole bunch of times to bleed out the excess energy that's in the system. Then I gotta unplug all the USB cables because the damn powered USB hubs backfeed power into it and somehow keep it alive. My computer's crap.
Okie dokie.
That's why I want to have Peachy Systems build it, because I know it'll actually work when it shows up.
If you're going to actually play games and do live streaming, though, I do recommend I do recommend the 5960X or higher with a Xeon, like a 12 core or something. I mean, go big or go home. When I do live streaming on Skunkworks, I have to turn off SLI, so I only have one video card. But still, this CPU and 1980 is so freaking powerful, I get no frames per second hit whatsoever when live streaming 1080p 60 frames per second. So
that's awesome. See, that's what I want. I also want to be able to like render video and play games at the same time.
Like, you remember the days where you'd start up your live stream and you take like an immediate FPS hit?
Yep.
That does not happen on this system. Like, there is no difference whatsoever in the frames per second. And I'm still getting over 100 frames per second with one card on Ultra. It just really makes me wish that the X99 bug with NVIDIA would allow me to have SLI going and have the rendering going at the same time. You guys have, some people in here I'm sure have seen when I tried live streaming, it was like a disco. It was like flickering in and out and texture colors everywhere. But, you know, it's going to take some time for X99 to mature into that. In fact, there's a brand new version, a whole new version of XSplit out. I really should try it and see if it fixes it.
I've heard about it. I haven't used it yet, though.
Jerry, please show your new PC build. He's got to build it first.
No, I will. No matter what, I'll show the PC build, and then it'll be. And I'm holding off on the room tour until I get the new PC in play, because when I get the new PC in play, the old PC's getting parted out to rebuild my streaming box over here so that I can actually get the damn thing working properly. Because right now it's running an old i930 original i7, and
the other machine,
and it barely runs 3.2 gigahertz, and it crashes all the time and has all kinds of problems. So
yeah, I find it kind of comical though when people like flip out like, oh my god, are you gonna do a video? It's like, when have we not done videos on cool things that we get in here? That's the whole point of why we get these things. At least the way I see it.
Yeah. No, I still get that too. Like I posted a picture of the Phantom today, and they're like, "Are you going to do a video?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, no,
Josh
Josh
Miller in chat is saying your 4K monitor does have a 100 by 100 VESA mount.
Yes, unless I'm being trolled. Yes.
No, several people have said it already.
Oh, good.
I'm sure they went and looked it up.
I'll stick it up there and see what it looks like. If it's because I had a 30-inch up there at one point. I had a 30-inch 1600p up there, and it seemed like it was a little too much. So 28 might be that sweet spot, but we'll find out.
Sammy Azza says, Jay, what is your GPU and why? I have 3 water-cooled 980s because I'm an NVIDIA fanboy. Gray Root says, Jay, have you tried Shadowplay? Yes, I get the exact same flickering problem with Shadowplay. So it's a chipset thing.
Shadowplay is their version of like recording and streaming software, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, it's one of those things where right now I've been kind of monitoring some of the forums of people complaining about it. NVIDIA's blaming Intel and Intel's blaming NVIDIA. So,
oh my god, that means nothing will ever get done.
But here's the thing. I now have an X99 system right here with a Radeon graphics card. So we'll put that theory to the test real quick. If the Radeon does it too, then it's Intel's problem.
Well, that's a good point. So I don't know. Do you think I should stick with NVIDIA, Jay, or do you think I should venture out into ATI just so I can become your
It's not the right time to buy anything from ATI currently, because I think we're on the cusp of a 300 series card.
You think it'll drop sometime in December?
I don't think so. This is
That's the thing I'm
speculation.
wondering. I'm almost wondering if I shouldn't wait until January. Like, let all the holiday madness blow over, let things spin down at Puget Systems, and then just hopefully something awesome will come out right after that.
Okay. I mean, okay. I want to backtrack real quick on my statement about not being the right time to buy Radeon. If you are the kind of person that wants to have the latest and greatest, it's not the right time to buy Radeon. If you're the kind of person that wants max value, it's the perfect time to buy Radeon because all the prices have been slashed. And they're getting ready to get slashed again. Apparently, right now, you can buy a 290 for $249 from Newegg with a $20 mail-in rebate. Otherwise, $279. An R9 290 for $279 is a fantastic deal. But when they start slashing prices like that, and they're getting ready to have some massive Black Friday sales, and this card is now pushing about 14 months old, we're right on the edge, guys. There's about a 14 to 18 month life cycle of graphics cards where you can expect a new one to come out. I also anticipate NVIDIA. This is I don't want somebody to remind me that I said this later. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Or tell me on Twitter or write me an email or something. I am predicting AMD is waiting to launch the 300 series until NVIDIA drops the 980 Ti / Titan 2 with the GM210 chip and is going to undercut NVIDIA. That is my prediction. I predict the 300 series is ready to drop now. I think they're waiting for the GM210 to come out, and then they're going to launch theirs and probably beat them by maybe 10% on pricing. That's my prediction.
Or should I just put a bunch of Titan Blacks in it just because it's a Titan?
I guess. You know what's funny is the Titan Z joke isn't funny anymore because now at $1,500, the Titan Z makes sense because it's two Titan Blacks, but Titan Blacks are $1,250 a piece, but you can get two of them on one PCB now for $1,500. That makes sense.
Wait, I didn't know that. Wait, the Titan Z came down to $1,500?
Yeah, they cut it in half.
Oh, Jesus.
And that's why the 295 X2 is now $999. Best time to buy a graphics card if you're low on monies. Everything is just being cut across the board. We are having a legitimate price battle between AMD and NVIDIA, and it is glorious.
Two Titan Zs. I like the sound of that.
That's 4G.
Although that'd be quad SLI, so realistically, the second card wouldn't really be doing shit.
It would when you're rendering if you have CUDA set up properly.
See, that's something that I'm actually really interested into because my 680s are really starting to show their age when I'm rendering in Adobe now.
I can put overlays, transitions, color correction, sharpness correction, all sorts of editing into Adobe Premiere Creative Cloud.
Uh-huh.
And I can play it back at real-time rate with no lags or anything because
and I have lag. Like I just put a text overlay and it starts kind of skipping and lowering the
no,
quality.
mine plays at actual frame rate of whatever the sequence is. And the cool thing about that is when I did my 5960X review, I showed that it rendered at 100% real time with just the CPU and no CUDA enabled. With the three 980s enabled, I render 200% right now. So however long the video is, even like I've been rendering out 20 megabit per second videos so I can get YouTube to kick up a higher encoder. 20 megabit per second videos, H.264 at 1080p, 30 frames per second. Let's see, Coconut Monkey's video with the SSD was 9 minutes long. It took 4 minutes to render.
Jesus, yeah, no, I'm like half that. Like I almost doubled my rendering time.
And I used to have I used to have pretty near double rendering time with all of those overlays and stuff when I had the 4790K. It's just the fact that Adobe makes use of the available CUDA cores, and I've got nearly 7,000 of them. So
well, you've convinced me. I definitely need that upgrade, especially now that I'm planning on moving up to 4K video here pretty soon.
I'm not even kidding. Okay, when Coconut Monkey stayed in the room when I edited that video, because we were getting his operating system up and running and all the programs installed, right? And he was using my 300 megabit connection because he has a 12 megabit at home. And so he was sitting here while I rendered it. He saw it rendering in real time, right? I'm doing overlays and the transitions. It's completely rendered the second I plop it into the timeline. I rendered out the video and there was a mistake. And he was like, dude, it's a 960, not a 920. That's why that has a little title that pops up as like, it's a 960, you idiot. You know, I made fun of myself. I had to go back and add that. So here's the thing. I rendered the video, went back, edited it, added those title overlays, re-rendered them before he was done going to the bathroom.
Jesus.
And he wasn't.
What
like,
did he
he's
eat
not,
that day, though? I need
He's
a good
no,
idea.
he was gone 5 minutes tops. It was completely rendered out, and with including changes in 5 minutes.
That's
So
it. I need
the
to build a
the
newer battery.
5960X and these graphics cards are absolutely worthwhile for me to have. And I can game on just one of them. That's why I don't mind live streaming again, because on the 780 with one card, it still had problems running, high MSAA, high frame rates and stuff.
Yeah.
But the single 980, I'm not even kidding. I turned on the frame per second counter on one of my live streams so people could see how one graphics card was performing, and I was getting anywhere between 115 to 135 frames per second on Ultra with 4 times MSAA.
Jesus.
So that's why when I turn on all 3 of them when I'm gaming just by myself with one 1080p 144 hertz monitor, it caps out 200 and just stays there. So that's why when the new 980s or the 980 Ti or whatever comes out, I do not feel inclined to upgrade. That's why I never upgraded to the 780 Ti, because when I went from 680 to 780, the jump was so massive it didn't make sense to go to the Ti. Even though the Ti, let me be fair, even though the Ti and the 780 were the same GPU, granted the 680, it'd be like comparing the 980 to the Ti now would be 2 different GPUs. I am so outpacing my current needs. It's not worth it to me to tear apart this loop, get new graphics cards, get new blocks, get it all plumbed up. It's not worth it to me whatsoever.
Yeah, because you already got a Screamer.
Yeah.
Well, me and you are definitely going to do a little talking here, because I'm supposed to, I need to come up with what kind of spec system I want built, like at least have some ideas. So I'm going to go through and figure out what the best components are for the job for now. And then if that changes and something else drops that changes the equation by like December, I'm hoping to get the system built in December, because I would like to be able to create some videos on it before the new year. But
look, nothing is going to change now in terms of the Extreme platform. I know you're going to stay on the Extreme platform. Nothing is going to change on the Extreme when it comes to CPU for at least another year. And even then, it'll be an incremental update. It won't be a new platform. Like, this is a brand new platform. This Haswell E, you're on IVE. This is no. You're on Sandy E. You're on Sandy Bridge E, right?
No, I'm Ivy. I'm Ivy on this.
No, you're running a 3960K, aren't you?
No, 3930K.
It's an Ivy Bridge, not a Sandy Bridge. Or you're a Sandy Bridge, not Ivy Bridge. Ivy Bridge was the 4930K.
I'm almost sure that this was an Ivy Bridge. Hold on.
Sandy Bridge is 3930. IVE is 4930.
Oh, okay. No, I think you might be right.
So you're 2 generations old from now. But Sandy and Ivy were essentially the same platform.
Oh, no, you're right. You're right. No, I remember now.
So yeah, this Haswell E is a whole new platform from yours, and it's making use of it. It overclocks really well. The 5960X, man, if you have a micro center near you guys, which you do, $899. Is $899 worth that rendering speed for you over the course of, say, the next year?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That was the way I looked at it.
Easily. But I'd have to upgrade more than just that. I mean, I need a new motherboard, new RAM, everything, right?
Yeah, it would be new motherboard, new RAM and stuff. But I'm talking about when it comes to the CPU itself, because you're gonna have to upgrade that other stuff anyway. I'm just talking about CPU selection. So
no, and that's why I want to go the extreme measures, because I mean, it's an investment, right? If the computer's faster, it's giving me less problems, it gets things done in half the time. That's more time I have to do other things.
Right.
I mean, so that's really important to me. Some people might go, oh, well, it doesn't matter if a video renders in, a half an hour or 10 minutes when it renders just start up. Well, when I can start uploading it 20 minutes earlier, that's everything. Especially
it all adds up, because a lot of times when that's rendering, I go off and do something else. Well, now it's rendering so efficiently, I don't have time to do anything else before it's done.
Right. And you can do other stuff while it's rendering. Right now, it's like when I'm rendering video, it's like, I can go chat on Twitter. I can't go fire up a game or start a live stream.
Here's the thing. It is Adobe is utilizing my CUDA farm, and I call it a CUDA farm, even though it's an SLI. It still uses all CUDAs. It's utilizing it so efficiently. My CPU to render out 200% real-time speed of a video is only getting to about 50% utilized. Only 50% of my CPU is actually being used when I render. My GPUs are using about 15% apiece. That's how much.
You've got plenty of threads free to go fire something else up.
I could go fire up a game and live stream while rendering.
See,
I could also have multiple instances of Premiere going and render multiple videos at the same time.
I want that. Jay, I want that.
I didn't know that going into this because remember, I adopted this platform before we knew anything about it. I had my motherboard, my RAM, and everything before the CPU even launched. I knew nothing about it. I was like, okay, I'm taking a leap of faith. It was a little painful at first. There were some drivers to get through. There were some adoption issues with software. They didn't know how to use 5960X, but everything has been updated now. And Skunkworks, I'm telling you right now, it is just beyond beastly when it comes to a machine. Gaming wise, oh, it's so overkill for games. It's stupid. Like you don't need anything like this for games. My 4770K over here with the single R9 290X in there is murdering games at 1080p. So, but when it comes to the rendering and what you and I do, it makes absolutely perfect sense. I mean, would your rendering go would your editing go faster if you hit the spacebar to make the timeline play and it plays at the actual rate at which the video is going to play?
You have no idea how much time I spend editing. Like I'm starting to think that most of my editing speed issues are related to performance.
How many times?
I literally hit spacebar and I wait like 5 seconds for it to start playing, and then it just says not responding, not responding. I gotta wait. I drag a new thing to the timeline. It sits there, and then it shows up. I mean, I'd probably shave my editing time in half if everything just happened.
If you were to go with specs similar to this, you would probably throw up because when you drag it into the timeline, it's completely rendered out immediately. Like the preview, the peaks and valleys, all of that is rendered immediately. You know,
yeah, I don't. Mine goes chunk, 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 chunk. The little histogram for the audio. You just gotta wait.
I don't know how much of that has to do with DDR4, because I didn't have an X79 platform to do a comparison to. But I can tell you, compared to Z97, it was pretty amazing.
Well, I know my new computer, I'm going to go for a lot of RAM, best CPU I can get, best GPUs I can get, and run it all liquid and get it as quiet as possible. I'm done having a vacuum cleaner for a computer.
I saw a comment from a troll in there saying, is Jay still bragging? If I'm bragging about anything, I'm bragging about the architecture, not my computer. Anyone who has this hardware who does any sort of content creation, 3D modeling, anything like that, is going to make use of that hardware. If you're a gamer, it makes no sense. In fact, some games actually run slower on X99 and X79 platforms than they do on, say, Haswell like 4790K or 4690K.
I wonder if people that say stuff like that actually sit down and watch commercials and they're like, yeah, look at Chevy's bragging. Oh my God, look, Dell's bragging again.
Look at Java. Look at Java. I don't know what the hell kind of name Java is, but sponsored by Intel X99. I have a contact at Intel and they have told me no to everything I've asked for. So you can eat me on that one. I paid for my Intel stuff.
I've heard from more than a couple of people, both professional sources and just friends, that Intel is a hard nut to crack when it comes to actually like getting sponsorship and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they're a tricky one.
I see questions about what keyboards are we using. I'm using right now the Aorus Thunder K7 only because I've been too lazy to change it with anything else. I would love to get my hands on a Corsair K70 RGB. I've talked to them on Twitter multiple times. They never follow through and send me the email that I request. In fact, I kind of want to like sick the live stream army on them and tell them all to go blow up Corsair's Twitter. But I don't think they're going to follow through anyway.
You know how many times I've been contacted by a company just because everybody from the live stream just goes and berates them?
Yeah. There you go. At Corsair Memory. If you guys want to see Corsair stuff on the channel, it's going to take the power of the audience to get it in here. They're not responding to me personally, but in the meantime, I just keep showing off the brands that are willing to send product for review. I can't afford to keep going and buying stuff for reviews. Like I mean, the K70 RGB is like what, $150 keyboard. That's not cheap. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, no, that's...
and do me a favor, if you guys do hit up Corsair, please don't tweet at Corsair. That's a private guy. Don't blow him up. It's at Corsair Memory.
Corsair Memory.
Or Corsair Gaming. But yeah, don't hit up Corsair, that poor guy. I've done it before where I'm like, go hit up Corsair, and he got exploded.
I've done that before too. Like some dude messaged me, why am I getting flooded? Because your name was too close to a computer peripheral.
Well, it sounds like Puget Systems is going to come through for you, but if they don't, I'm telling you, my offer, early next year to fly up there and build you something.
If it doesn't work out, Puget Systems, yeah, I'm bringing up the big guns.
Oh, they're going to come through though. They don't want Jay coming up there and swooping in the space.
No, they're a really cool business, and the president John Bach, he is like a really really nice guy. He absolutely loved the video I did too. I just did that vlog like. That wasn't requested or anything. I just was vlogging when Fractal Josh invited me up there to tour. and went through there, and he was just, I mean, he was awesome. He just wanted to show us everything and allowed us to just go anywhere. I mean, he was just a really, really cool guy. We even went out to lunch with him. So super, super down to earth CEO. So I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun dealing with him.
It's funny because I remember I told you I have a friend that was going to be getting the new Mustang, and I was like, oh, we do a car review. We were talking about that months ago, and then you do the ELR review. I'm like, oh, well, now I'll just be a copycat. For the last 2 months, I've had a schedule this December to go in and take a tour of CyberPower PC's building facilities. Yep. And then you put up that video, and I'm like, God damn it, Jerry fucking swooped in again.
Simpsons did it.
I know. It's like I've had a 2 month. For 2 months, I've been talking about doing that. Fractal Josh flies up there, and in a matter of 24 hours, you steal the thunder.
Hey, do you want to just send me your itinerary so I can make sure that I'm not going to swoop you on anything else you've had planned for 4 years?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to actually make it in there to see. I mean, I've got a PC on the way here, actually, from them.
People loved that video, though. I was really shocked that so many people were interested in touring a boutique builder.
Look, I've heard of Puget Systems, but I've never researched them. I was legitimately impressed with their facility and the effort that they go through to build it.
Yeah, I was. It was completely not what I was expecting at all. When I went there, I was expecting the whole just assembly line. Put stuff in, stick it in a box, tape it up, go. Put stuff in, put it in a box. I had no idea that it was designated people, different stations doing things, signing off, massive quality control through the entire process. I was like, wow. And John kept reiterating to me, he's like, with us, it's not about capacity. He's like, it might take you a little while to get your computer, depending on what you want, because we will not sacrifice quality for quantity of getting them through. And I was like, well, that's really cool, actually.
Yeah. I see Paul as A-bombs. I think Paul just likes seeing A-bomb everywhere he goes.
Is he A-bombing us?
He's like, A-bomb, heart.
So they asked you what keyboard you use. I'm using a DOS keyboard Professional, the DOS Keyboard 4 Professional.
Don't be saying it all German. It's DAS keyboard.
DAS keyboard, no DOS keyboard. But
why is that DAS keyboard on channel?
It's been taken over by Tech Syndicate, so...
Tech Syndicate's been taking over the world one keyboard at a time.
They're all taking keyboards over now, so... Now I don't have it. Now my control key is Tech Syndicate. I see what they did there.
One keyboard at a time on channel.
Yeah, don't you know?
I'm almost about ready to start ending this stream. I am freaking feeling like crap.
I'll be honest, I'm pretty burnt out myself, but I actually want to do a couple of videos tonight because I got some fun stuff that I want to play with. I want to do the retro gaming stuff because I got a bunch of Nintendo and Super Nintendo cartridges, and I'm like, I want to play me some Nintendo.
One of the reasons why I ended up just manning up and doing the show tonight is because, one, guys, there's more than likely not going to be a video tomorrow. I have nothing in the queue. I have nothing to edit. I only have stuff that's been shot that can't be finished until this PC over here is done, and that's not going to happen tonight. Not going to get this thing fired up, bled, installed, and benchmarked tonight. Sorry. The other thing that has got me a little stressed out is I don't have much in the queue like I want, and Miss JayzTwoCents has been having her weekly doctor's appointments, right, for the pregnancy. Mm-hmm. We are 38 weeks. That means the baby is now 100% gestationally ready to be born.
Wow.
And her checkup yesterday, the process is beginning. Ooh. So we could very well, by this time next week, have a little Jay running around. Well, not quite running around. They're not born that smart, but yeah. So
I better see lots and lots of Instagram pics.
I will Instagram what I can without being entirely too invasive of the wife. Hey guys, you want to see an unboxing of the baby?
Well, I didn't mean that. Well, okay, let's be honest. I did mean that, but I understand.
Baby unboxing incoming from the hospital room. Yeah, but no, the actual physical process has officially begun. So
the vortex is opening and the child is descending towards the portal slowly.
What's up, guys? It was cold out here.
Oh my god.
That was actually a terrible mental image. You don't want to watch the chat. I did a visual.
Old Jay, gonna be daddy of two, man. Oh my gosh.
I'm ready, man. 2 little girls. It's gonna be fun for now.
Well, that's the interesting thing about kids, though, is even though, like with my, I only have the one kid, but it's like I was so scared, especially even before he was born, and we had all those problems that really put me over the edge. But even beforehand, I was like, oh my god, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do this? It's weird, man. Those instincts just kick in, and everything just takes over.
Look at the chat. People are demanding the baby unboxing.
Baby unboxing. Hey, technically it would be accurate though. You would be unboxing the baby. Emphasis on box.
Yeah. I think for fun though, I was planning on doing a baby review. I'll probably do it. You can't beat me to that.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
Unfortunately, I can't
ma'am, can I
really
borrow
can't.
this baby for a minute?
Watch like next week I'll be doing a vlog at a local hospital and be like, oh, it sounds like she's ready running the room.
Beat you, Jay.
I will beat you there. All right. Well, I don't think the mob will murder us too bad if we want to spin down a little bit because they know that we have needs and they probably want another video from me because they didn't get one today.
I have the window open. It's fairly chilly in here. Look at my. You can't see it. Maybe on the stream you can see it. I am sweating.
Dude, I can see it. You are very glistening. You've got that Twilight thing going on.
I'm glowing. Okay. I'm glowing. I'm not sweaty.
Oh my god!
All right, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this week. It's just been kind of a canted hangout session here. I'm gonna actually, I'm gonna eat some dinner. I'm gonna hydrate, and then I'm gonna keep working on this build. Like I said, I'm gonna rip all the tubing out because I was like, I don't like that, so I'm gonna start over.
And my goal tonight, so you guys can all call me on it on Twitter constantly, so that I don't procrastinate too much, is I'm gonna take either Mr. Groot here or Mini Barnacles.
How many weeks have we been seeing that now?
I know, but I finally got the tumbler. I actually got a tumbler and steel shot media, which are exactly what you need. That's
well, I know
the
you
best
had.
way to polish these.
I know you had the tumbler, but it didn't quite work too well on the.
No, the shaker. That's okay. Hold on. I got a shaker. The shaker with walnut shells didn't work. Now I got the tumbler with steel shot.
How do you work the shake weight, Jerry?
Like this. So, yeah, meme. Actually, wait, let's get Groot face in the camera.
I have a feeling there's going to be some additional graphics added to that one.
I'm sure there will be. So I'm going to take these guys, I'm going to take that rock tumbler, and I'm going to put steel shot in it with water and soap, which is what I've already done my research. This is the best polishing method possible for this bronze stuff. So those things should be looking good. So that video hopefully will be out tomorrow, unless somehow they crumple and fall apart in the machine. I don't think they will, though.
Oh, God. Here we go. Hashtag Jay's a dickhole is back up.
Nice.
You remember? Well, that was last week. That was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was classic, dude. I hope that lives eternally.
I love it.
At least there isn't a Jerry's a dickhole. Oh, there is now. So, oh my god, I just saw the video feed of me doing that with Groot.
Wait for it. It's
my god, the shit Jerry does on the internet.
I think the perfect GIF for that if somebody makes it is you doing it, and then it like zooms into me all smiley like. remember our Instagramception?
Do the back and forth where it's like I'm doing that, and then it's Jay like all smiling, and then back to me doing it, and Jay all smiling. Just do a looping GIF. That would be hilarious.
I love it.
Oh my god! So I'm gonna do that, and then while that's brewing, because that's gonna take all night to do that, I'm gonna unbox some retro gaming systems. I got a Retron 5 and a handheld system from Retrobit, so I'm gonna try to do some reviews on for you guys.
Nice. Yeah, and guys, the highlight of our week is when you guys put up the memes and the GIFs. So have at it. The more derogatory and the more inappropriate, the better.
Yep. I'll agree. That's seriously like when I see the images of people doing like cartoons with me instead of I guess they call it the fan art, right? I don't want to imply people are fans because they hate that, but
they're viewers.
Follower art. I like it when you guys do stuff like that in the memes and everything because literally when I'm laying in bed at night and I'm flipping through all my feeds before I go to bed, I laugh so hard I wake my wife up. It is that good.
And what's funny is even the really, really good ones, even the wife comes in like a day or two. She's like, "Did you see this? Have you seen this one?" It's funny too because I see people saying, Jay is a dickhole, Jerry is a dickhole, and it's funny because every now and then you'll see someone being like, "Hey, that's or haters gonna hate," or "Why are you being mean?" It's like they don't understand the context.
Dude, it's just like the longest running joke where I'm like, that's for poor people, right? Every time I do that, you get the people that come in, they don't understand the jokes. They're just like, why would you say something so mean? It's like, you don't get it.
Before I sign off, I'm going to go ahead and just let people know why they're calling me a dickhole, or why Jerry wanted everyone to call me a dickhole. Was last week, Jerry, just before the stream started, had to go to the bathroom. So I decided to start the stream before he was back. So everyone knew we were late because he was pissing. So he came back and he's like, "Jay, you're a dickhole." And I'm like, hashtag Jay's a dickhole. And then ever since then, it's stuck.
Yep.
So they're not being haters. They're being repeaters. And
hashtag the shit Jerry does on the internet. I love it.
Yeah. All right, guys. It's time to get on out of here.
All right. Take it easy, guys.
Outro.
Until next time.
Outro time.
Here, you do the outro.
This is the outro song. It's a little flickery. I don't know why. Probably 99's fault. It's so flickery. Oh my god. Time to upgrade the computer. Hashtag Skunkworks is old.
Yes, it is. Give it to Jerry. Send it to Jerry.
Bye.